The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Jimbo and Bond take flight. 83 songs to light in the realm of black and white. Movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
Port bound.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. It is exactly 50 seconds to midnight. Hard left. Get up a mayday.
That's our only chance.
Don't listen to him! We've got to stay here till help arrives.
Help from where? From the captain? He's dead.
The boat tilted and he fell. The shaft blew up and he's dead. And that's it. Or do you want to make something more out of it?
Nani, keep your eyes on the ladder. Don't look at anything except the ladder.
I want you to give this to our little grandson, huh?
Why, I'm going somewhere you're not going?
Hold it! Do you know what a flash fire is? Well, mister, I'm not gonna let you kill us. I'm going through that door, Mr. Rogo. You need to stand aside and close that door to keep the air from coming in. Or you can try to stop me.
I was gonna get everybody out of here, and damn it, I'm gonna do it!
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and tonight I'm joined once again by...
Hey, this is your co-host, Bond.
Bond, tonight we are going to dive into one of the most famous disaster movies of all time, and it has a all-star cast with this movie. But first, Bond, before we get started, Where would you rank this among the disaster films that you have seen? I mean, we're talking like Towering Inferno. What was it? Airport. You had the Titanic. Different movies like that.
I think that man, this one ranks right up there. We're talking about the Poseidon Adventure, man, 1972 tonight, and it ranks right up there in the top. When I think disaster movies from the 70s, I think about this one and Towering Inferno, probably the big two.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was that big wave of disaster movies that were like Deep Impact,
Earthquake,
all the meteor heading towards the Earth kind of thing. Remember those?
Armageddon. Remember?
Armageddon. Yeah, exactly. I have to put this one near the top. I think this one and Towering Inferno are like, neck and neck.
Right. And they even remade this movie. Sometimes, well, I'm not going to say that. All the time they try to do a remake, it just doesn't work out. I'm not a big fan of remakes. I think people have gotten lazy in script writing. There's only a couple, maybe a handful of sequels or remakes, that are worth their grain of salt. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think that if a movie's a big hit and everyone loves it, and there's this one, like you said, is chock full of stars, why would you try to remake this? You know what I'm saying? I could see if you had a movie that didn't do too well at the box office that you might want to try to revamp it, maybe put some new actors and actresses in it and remake something like that.
Right.
But this is an Academy Award winning movie. Why would you want to go back and try to do it again?
Mm-hmm. All right, Bond, let's take it away.
All right, man. We're talking about the Poseidon Adventure, 1972. You're right. It is a disaster film, right up there with movies like Airport, Earthquake, and Towering Inferno, which all happened in the early 70s also. This movie was directed by Ronald Nemi, the screenplay by Sterling Silliphant and Wendell Mays. It's actually based on a book, The Poseidon Adventure, by Paul Gallico, produced by Irwin Allen. Now, this movie here has lots of stars, like we're talking about, man. Our main character is the Reverend Frank Scott. Reverend Frank Scott is played by the legendary Gene Hackman. He has won 2 Academy Awards in his life, so you're talking he's an Academy Award winner. He, of course, passed away in February of this year.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. Gene. We know him from movies like The French Connection, Unforgiven, Bonnie and Clyde, Mississippi Burning. Here's some bigger ones. How about Lex Luthor in the original Superman movies? My favorite Gene Hackman movie, Hoosiers.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, The Birdcage.
Yep.
Which is hilarious.
I mean, he had all kinds of, he was just great.
He was in 100, probably close to 100 movies, if not over 100.
Oh, easily.
But those are the ones that stuck out to me as like the big ones, man. He was Reverend Frank Scott. He's the main character in this one. Tries to rescue everyone. Another legendary Academy Award-winning actor that you see in this movie is Ernest Borgnine.
Loved him in this.
Ernest Borgnine plays, he's Lieutenant Mike Rogo. He was in movies like Marty, From Here to Eternity. He's also on television in McHale's Navy. And he's also the voice of Mermaid Man from the SpongeBob SquarePants cartoon, which I thought was pretty cool. We have Red Buttons, who plays James Martin. Red Buttons, he was in Pete's Dragon and 18 Again. Another legendary actor is Roddy McDowall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Roddy McDowall's in this one. He plays Acres. We know him, of course, from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was in every Planet of the Apes movie from the 60s, right?
I believe so.
Pretty much every one, I think. He was also in Cleopatra, That Darn Cat, Black Hole, and one of my other favorite movies of all time, Fright Night from 1985. We have Stella Stevens. Stella Stevens was the Playboy Playmate of the Month for January 1960. That's probably where you know her from.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But of course, I know her from The Nutty Professor.
Yeah.
She was in The Nutty Professor. Another Academy Award-winning actress in this one was Shelley Winters.
How good was she in this movie?
Oh my gosh. you don't even have to be a Shelley Winters fan.
No.
But you watch this movie and you will be changed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
We'll talk
She
about
plays
it here in a
Belle
little
Rosen.
bit.
What's that?
I said we'll talk more about her in a little bit.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man. She plays Belle Rosen. She's Manny's wife. We'll get to Manny in a bit. She was in The Diary of Anne Frank. She was also in Night of the Hunter and Pete's Dragon. So if you watch Pete's Dragon, you'll see a lot of people from this movie. Another person that I recognized right off the bat was the Academy Award winner, Jack Albertson.
He's got a golden ticket.
He has a golden ticket and he's got a golden trophy on his wall, right? He plays Manny Rosen, which is Shelley Winters' husband. And he was in, of course, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as Grandpa Joe. And he's also on the TV show Chico and the Man.
Their chemistry together in this movie was fantastic.
They played a married couple. So, I mean, you're right.
They were just
couple so well.
They were just wanting to go see their grandson. Remember, they had that thing they wanted to give their.
That was the whole reason they were on the boat in the first place.
Yeah.
They had never seen their grandson. What was he, like 4 years old? And we haven't seen him yet.
Man, it gets sad.
A couple more. We have Pamela Sue Martin as Susan Shelby. She was in Dynasty on television. And, of course, Eric Shea played Robin Shelby, the young brother. Right, yep. The little brother-sister combo. He played the young brother. He was on the TV show Batman. He was also in Gunsmoke. And he also was on an episode of Brady Bunch. So you have to search for that one. We do have another famous person in this movie. One of your favorites, Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
Is in this movie, yes, as Captain Harrison.
Not Lieutenant Frank
Planet.
Not Lieutenant Frank Drebin.
And he plays Frank Drebin in the Naked Gun movies and Police Squad. He was also, of course, in the movie Airplane.
Yep.
So this is an early role where he's playing serious, and he switches over and starts to play sillier roles. There's a few more, but those are like the main characters that we're going to talk about tonight. Those are the ones that try to make it through the boat. Let's see. This movie did really well at the box office.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really well. It was the biggest grossing movie of 1973. Came out in December of 72. So in 73, this was the biggest movie of 73. The budget for this movie was $4.7 million in 1972.
Man.
Which would be equal to $31 million today.
It's a lot of money for back then.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess did they spend it on the actors?
I'm sure they
spent it on special effects.
Well, I mean, they did build two of the sets of the boat, one regular side up and one upside down. So that might be a lot of it.
That's what I was thinking of, all the different sets you'd have to build upside down in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, this movie was a big success, man. It cost $31 million to make in today's money. Back in 1972, it made $125 million in 1972. Okay.
Did you do the inflation for that?
$836 million.
Wow.
That's like Avengers numbers today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be equal to like what the Avengers are doing, what Marvel Studios puts out.
I wonder where it falls when you calculate for inflation. I wonder where it falls on the all-time list.
Well, with all the Marvel movies knocking everything out, making billion-dollar movies left and right, it's probably in the top 20.
Probably.
If I had to guess, I'd put it in the top 20 because $836 million in today's, if you adjust for inflation, that's a big blockbuster, man.
I'll see if I can't find it real quick.
All right. Like I said, this movie was put out December 12th, 1972. It's kind of long, especially for a movie back then in 1972. It's 117 minutes, which puts it at almost 2 hours long, which is pretty long. This movie won a bunch of awards. This movie, let me kind of go over some of the awards this thing was up for and won. It was up for 8 Academy Awards. 8 Academy Awards. It was up for Best Supporting Actress, Shelley Winters, Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Costume, Best Film Editing, Best Original Dramatic Score, Best Song, Best Sound, Best Visual Effects. Right?
All right, Bond. It came in at number 89 now.
Oh, man.
90 was Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. 88 was Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
That just goes to show you how big this movie was then. If you put it up there with Lord of the Rings and Star Wars movies.
Oh, yeah.
Huge.
Towering Inferno actually was number 61 on this list. So Airport was 50. So all these disaster movies did really well, it seems like, at the box office. Right.
That's really great.
Do you know
like
what
I said, it was up for 8 Academy Awards, including John Williams. My friend John Williams did this one.
Your friend.
And he did not win. He was just nominated.
Oh, ain't that, right? That's probably the one time he was nominated and didn't win.
I know.
Right?
I was like, what do you mean I didn't win? But it did win. It did win 2 Academy Awards, one for Best Song, Morning After. And then it also won for Best Visual Effects. It was nominated for American Cinema Editors Award for Best Editing. Gene Hackman won the award for British Academy Film Awards for Best Actor. Gene Hackman won. And Shelley Winters was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, but she did not win.
Man, I don't know how she didn't win.
Well, wait. Because the Golden Globe Awards, she did win for Best Supporting Actress.
There we go.
The Golden Globes. It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Original Score, and Best Original Song. But the only medal it took home was Shelley Winters. She took home some Golden Globes. And it was up for a Golden Reel Award for Best Sound Editing, and it won that one too. So a bunch of awards for this one, man.
Oh, yeah.
So what is this movie about, Jimbo?
So it happens to be New Year's Eve, of all things. They still have the Christmas decorations up, which plays a big role in this.
Sure does.
And they are, I don't remember, Bond, where are they going from and to? Do you remember? I don't remember the destinations.
They are going from, I think from New York to Athens.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, I think so.
So they're on this boat. It kind of looks like the Titanic, I guess, if you want to.
Yeah, it's an ocean liner.
Yeah. So all of a sudden there has been I believe an earthquake somewhere directly in their route, and they get these warnings that a tsunami is headed their way. And they're like, well, we're going right through it. Is the ship buckled down? Do you think we can do it? They're all like, yeah, we think we'll be okay. And if you watch at the beginning of the movie, the ship's already having some problems. Like they're working in like the engine room or boiler room or something. And the guy's like, look, I'm doing everything I can down here. So all of a sudden they make the decision to keep going forward, and they come upon this tidal wave that is just monstrous.
That was amazing. That scene where they show that huge wave and just takes it out.
Can I just say the special effects in this movie were fantastic for 1972. I mean, that's before Lucas and Industrial Light and Magic and all that came around. But so Leslie Nielsen's character, they tried to do a hard turn with the tidal wave, and this wave just basically flips the ocean liner upside down. And from there, chaos just starts erupting. I think one of the most memorable scenes of this movie, and this is the scene that I remember when I was a kid, is if you're watching and you see that one guy that's, the ship's upside down now, and the guy's hanging from the ceiling, and he falls like right through the glass ceiling. Do you remember that where he falls and then I remember that when I was a kid. That stuck with me the entire time I remember seeing this movie. So what
happens is the alarm and the warning for the tsunami happens almost at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So everybody's, they're celebrating. The horns are going off. Everybody's blowing, the music's blaring. So they're at this huge party at the apex of the party right when the tsunami warnings are going out throughout the boat. So they really don't hear it.
No.
Not that they could have done anything about it if they did,
Did you like how
they really don't hear it because it's all drowned out by the party.
Did you like how the captain got the bat phone at the table? The light went off and he picks up, I got to go to the bridge.
That's true.
So
the boat flips over. Big tidal wave.
And so now water is starting to sink or starting to leap in from the bottom, or, they're upside down, but the water's starting to rise. Mm-hmm. And there's an underlying mini story, if you will, in this with, Gene Hackman's character, and there's another preacher on the ship. The dynamic between those two is basically Gene Hackman's been sent away to, I would say, a missionary. Basically, they're getting him out of the church, and he went over to they're sending him across the ocean to be a missionary. And the other guy, he has a different viewpoint on things.
Gene Hackman's character is more of a God helps those who help themselves kind of guy.
Right. And the other guy is basically a faith.
Shipped off to Africa because he's kind of clashing with the rest of the church.
Right. So the other guy's more of a faith-based, like, God's going to take care of us no matter what. Right. And that plays a big role in this movie. It's kind of like an allegory to a Christian life, if you will. But so you have that going on. So Gene Hackman is like, basically, he gets this group of survivors. He said, look, if we're going to survive this, we're upside down. We have to get up. And
we have to go up towards the bottom of the ship.
Right. It's so weird. So, and there's another group of people who are like, no. The one guy's like, no, I'm in charge here. Help will be on the way. We're going to stay right here. And Gene Hackman's like, look, our only way to safety is up here. So Roddy McDowall pops his head up out of this corner, and he's got a bad limp. And they take this Christmas tree and they prop it up there. And like, I want to say 12 people end up climbing up this Christmas tree. And Gene Hackman's pleading with the people down below, you guys, come on, this is our way to safety. And that guy's, oh, you're crazy, whatever. So then the water starts coming in and starts flooding out. Now they all want to try to run up the tree, and the tree falls back over. And now all these people are dying down there. So
this is the one scene that I remember from when I was young. It's like, if you were to say, what scenes do you remember from the Poseidon Adventure? This is one of the big ones.
Oh yeah.
The leaning the metal. It's like a metal Christmas tree, right?
Right. Well, the frame is,
metal tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got like a framework, like a laddered framework inside. And I just remember that as a kid, I remember them leaning that tree up against the wall. And so everybody's like climbing inside the tree to get out of that room.
Yeah. So everybody starts panicking, and they try to, climb over each other to go up this tree now to get up where Gene Hackman told them to begin with. And the tree falls over, and then the water's coming in and people are dying. It's not a pretty scene. So they take off, and Roddy, they're leaning on Roddy McDowall to help guide them through this ship, because he knows where everything is. And also that little boy, we haven't really talked about him a lot.
Say, right?
There's
there's that little boy, Robin.
Yeah. He's basically been all over the ship. And he even goes to the bridge at the beginning, if you remember, and he's like, "What are you doing here, kid?"
Yeah. He's fascinated. He's like one of those little kids that's fascinated with ships and boats and stuff like that. So he knows the inner working. He knows the boiler room. He knows the schematics of the ship.
Right. So between him and Roddy McDowall's character, they pretty much know the layout of the ship. So they're going through the different elements or the different parts of the ship, and they come to a thing where they come to, I guess it's a kitchen area, if you will, and there's a fire in there. And the conflict between Ernest Borgnine's character Rogo and Gene Hackman's character, they're at conflict this entire time as they're trying to escape. It's like a power trip. And I think Ernest Borgnine did a fantastic job as Rogo. He might be my favorite character outside of Shelley Winters. So Gene Hackman's like, look, I'm going through here. If I will come back in 15 minutes.
Oh yeah. That's a great scene.
Yeah.
Where they see like a group of like 20 people going the opposite way that they were heading. And so they have to make a choice right there. Do we follow this other group of people that seem to know what they're doing?
Yeah.
Or do we continue down this path?
He's like, you're going the wrong way. He tries to tell him, and like, no, well, this is the way we're going.
Screaming
right.
at each other.
Was that led by the other pastor, or did he stay at the bottom? Do you remember?
I think he stayed at the bottom. I think this one was led by by just somebody, well, one of the other guys.
An admiral or something.
Yeah.
So Gene Hackman goes through this door and they've got different personalities with this little small group. They have like 12 people or 8 people or whatever it is, because you have Nani, who, Red Button's character, she's just so traumatized that he tries to help her along the way. She's scared. You have Shelley Winters and Jack. They're married. The family. Then you have the little girl and the little boy. Well, the little girl's like a teenager. You have Rogo and his wife, and you have Gene Hackman, and you have Roddy McDowall. I think that's about all the ones that are there, right?
Yeah. I would say about 8 to 9 people.
So he goes through the kitchen area to get to another smaller shaft area, if you will. And he comes back and says, okay, don't look, whatever. And it's pretty cool throughout this movie that you see some of the dead people along the way. Like there's the one in the kitchen that's all burnt up, and the Nani, or the little girl, sees him and screams. And then they get through the kitchen scene. Okay. I don't think anybody dies yet. So, spoiler alert, there are going to be people that die a lot.
Yeah. Spoiler. They don't all make it.
Right. And so, is the next scene where they have to, is that where they swim, or is that later?
Well, there's this scene with there's like a shaft they have to go inside first. There's like a tunnel,
right?
Like a tube.
Is that the one where Shelley Winter says, "I'm so fat I ain't getting through there"?
Oh yeah, and then Linda Rogo, right? Ernest Borgnine's wife says, "I'm going before her." So, because I don't want to get stuck behind.
Right. And I forgot, back at the Christmas tree scene, they're like, look, you can't climb in that skirt.
That's true.
You can't climb in skirts. So they had to make them take their skirts off. And
I kept thinking about all the shoes that all the women were wearing too.
Oh yeah. Because they're at a big New Year's Eve bash. Yeah.
Yeah. They were wearing heels and
so they get to this shaft. Gene Hackman goes up, and there's another, it's probably 20 or 30 feet above him. He opens up this, and he's got the little girl with him. She comes up next, and it comes down to where Roddy McDowall's character ends up falling into the shaft or whatever down in the water, and you come to find out he drowns. Rogo actually jumps in after him, which I didn't know how that was going to work out, because once they get up there and they get to the top, and Rogo's character, and what's Gene Hackman's character again? What's his name?
Frank.
Once Frank and him, he's like, where's, Roddy McDowall's character.
Oh,
and he said,
Akers, right?
Yeah. Akers. He says he didn't make it. He fell and he drowned. And Gene Hackman's about ready to go back down there. And he said, look, dude, he said, I jumped in after him, tried to save his life. He's gone. He's dead.
Well, because Gene Hackman's like, no, I promised I would save everybody.
Right.
I promised everybody to get out of here. Everybody would be alive. I'm going to get everybody out. And so the idea of Akers not making it's like failure to him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's only going to get worse for him. So. All right, Bond, where are we at now? So we went up the shaft, and I think they get up to the top, and I think it's Red Button's character. He notices that the water's coming faster. It's starting to rise faster and faster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely filling up fast.
Right. And so they come around the corner. I think this is where there's the upside down staircase where they have to go up that ramp, and they're pulling people up that ramp. And again, Red Button's character sees water just rising really fast, and so they have to hurry up and get up there. That's a pretty cool scene too. And they come to a spot where I believe this is I might be getting my scenes confused, but I think this is the area where
no, there's like an engine room, and on the other side it's flooded, right?
Right.
And get through the flood.
But is that now, or is this where Gene Hackman, Frank goes and he says, "Give me 15 minutes, we got to go up," or is that after the water scene? No, it has to be before, because that's where
that's right before.
Yeah. So they get up there and they go and they say, "Hey, look, I'm going over here. It's over this way. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, Rogo will do it your way." And so he takes off, and the little girl follows him. And so the other people are all searching for food, supplies, whatever they can use. And, they come to find out they get rope and they get certain stuff. And I think I like the scene here, but it really shows the dynamic of the set, is the barber shop they go in and the chairs are upside down.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Every set's amazing. Because what they do is they take like a room and they just flip it upside down.
Yep. I would get I'd get dizzy or something, like, man, what is wrong here?
Yeah, because they had to film all of those scenes upside, like with everything attached to the ceiling.
Right. So basically, Frank tells the little girl, he says, "Look, you go back and you tell Rogo, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, to go on without me, we'll do it his way." And so she comes running back, and, he went up this hatch. He told me if I'm not back in within 15 minutes, we're going to do it your way. And, because Rogo's ready to
back in 15 minutes.
Rogo's ready to leave at like 14 minutes or 13 minutes. Remember, they're like, no, we told him 15 minutes. That's why we were waiting. Yeah. And I do believe he's a little late too, right?
He is, because 15 minutes comes up and they're like, oh, he's like, all right, it's been 15 minutes. Let's go. Right. And everybody's like, wait, just a little longer.
They said I think it's Jack Albertson's character. He's like, hey, he did all this for us. We can wait a little bit longer. We can go look for him, because that's what he would do for us.
Mm-hmm. Then right when they were like debating whether or not to go look for Frank, for Gene Hackman's character, he pops his head out and goes, I found it. It's right down here, just like I promised.
Yep.
So they head to the engine room.
Oh man, this is where this is where it starts to get rough. I think this might be about the point where Bond breaks down and cries.
I cried twice. This is the first time, man, because the engine room is semi-flooded
right
at this point. And so there's a part where they have to get from one side of the engine room to the other, they have to swim.
They have to dive down, and go down this corridor,
all these pipes.
Yep.
And down this corridor. And, but they're pretty smart because they use a rope, right? They have a guide rope.
And he said,
Winter's character is like, I'll do it. I was a former competitive swimmer.
But they tell Frank says, when I get to the other side, I'll give a tug on this rope and you guys can just follow me through. And like 2 minutes has passed or whatever, and there's no tug on the rope. It kind of goes limp, or they run out of rope or something. And this is where
a long time.
Shelley Winters, she put on like 35 pounds for this role, and she trained with Olympic swimmers and everything to hold her breath over 2 minutes. And she
wants to go. She says,
oh yeah, she's like, I used to be a swimmer.
Competitive swimmer. And her husband's like, that was 30 years ago or whatever, 50 years ago or whatever.
And she's like, I may be bigger, but I can do it. Let me do it. So basically she ends up going, and before she goes, this is the part that got me. And she said, look, if I don't make it, give this to our grandson. And it was that.
Oh, she's got that trinket that she hands to her husband.
No, I don't think she hands it to him. I think she gives it to Rogo at the end, right? When she makes it through. Yeah. So
you're right.
So Frank's character had, as he was swimming, this door or something, metal thing fell on top of him. So he's trapped in the water.
Yeah, he's pinned underwater.
Shelley Waters dives in. She swims around. She lifts the thing up on him, off of him, and they get to the other side. And this is the part, man, because Gene Hackman and Shelley Winters right here might be the scene of the movie. Because
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, because this is where she gives this little trinket to him, says, hey, give this to my husband. Tell him to make sure he gives it to our grandson.
Right.
And basically what it boils down to is the toll of the swim has taken its toll on her body because she is a little bit bigger, and she ends up dying right here. And
yeah, she dies of a heart attack right there after the swim was everything she had left in her.
Oh, man.
And it just
rips your heart out.
Her bravery mixed with Gene Hackman's pleading to God.
Oh yeah.
He's yelling at God, screaming at God, please, God, not her, not her, not this one. You can't have this one.
Yep. And so there's still no tug on the rope, and I think that's where Rogo says, I'm going through. So Rogo goes through, and he comes up and he starts talking, and Gene Hackman's just sitting there like in shock, and like basically he's just sitting there like not moving or anything. And this is where he finds out that Shelley Winter's character has died, and he says, don't tell her husband.
Yeah, that was so smart.
Well, so he's like, you go back and you bring them, you bring them back. So he goes back over there and he says, hey, they made it. And he said, what about my wife? Did she make it? And poor Rogo, he's like, I don't know how he did it. I mean, but he tells her basically she made it, but she didn't make it, if you will.
Yeah.
And
He says something to the effect that, they're on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. He's just begging him, like, is my wife still alive? Is she okay? And what can Ernest Borgnine do, man? What can Rogo do? He has to break it to her.
Yeah, he breaks it to him, and next thing you see him just dive in the water. He's going through, so he's going to his wife. Mm-hmm. So he comes up on the other side, man, and it's such a heartbreaking scene with him just hugging her and talking. He sees his
wife off to the side, dead.
Oh man, it's rough.
I'm telling you, man. So that was the first time I cried. The first time I cried in this movie, right there.
Yep. So everybody comes and they got to keep moving forward. They got to keep moving forward. And the one guy's like, "Look, I'm not going. I'm staying with her." And this is where I think Gene Hackman gives him the talk and says, "Look, she gave me this and said for you to survive to give this to your grandson." And he's like, "Well, you guys go ahead and go on. I want to spend a few more moments with her." And I thought this guy's going to end up killing himself or something just to stay with her. I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the saddest moment in movie history right here. Mm-hmm. But no, he comes on through. So now they've got to the point where they have to climb up. So let's face it, we've lost Akers drowning.
Yeah,
we lost Shelley Winter's character drowning or heart attack after. So you're down to the two kids, Gene Hackman, Rogo and his wife, Red Buttons, and Nani. I think that's the ones that are left. So 7.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess it's 8 because you've got her husband, Shelley Winter's husband. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So now they're in like I don't know. Would you say a boiler room?
Yeah, I think that's where they're trying to get to, right?
Yeah, because they're trying to get up to this hatch that goes to the propellers, so they know that's the top of the ship.
Yeah, for some reason that part of the ship is the thinnest part. It's only an inch thick.
An inch of metal.
And so the whole plan is to get to this part, the thinnest part of the ship.
So Gene Hackman's like, look, we got to go up. We got to get to that hatch. That hatch is our safety. That's where we have to go. He's like, just follow me. So they go, and there's fires in the water. There's fires everywhere. There's steam coming off of stuff.
Explosions. Yeah, gas lines are getting blown out.
So they get up to the top, and as they're going, I think an explosion goes off, and Rogo's wife ends up falling off and falling into a fire.
Yeah, Linda loses her grip.
Yeah, and the Rogo's like, you did this. You killed us all. It's your fault. So now you've just had 2 guys lose their wives. And Gene Hackman's like, look, I wanted to save everybody. I'm trying to do the best I can. He said, I have to go over here. I have to open this hatch. And the little girl's like, oh, there's steam, the scalding steam or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a pipe ruptures and also like hot steam is blocking the doorway.
Right. So Gene Hackman decides that he's going to jump over. He jumps over and he starts... That steam's hitting him, and he keeps turning it, and he's talking to God.
Yeah, he's using his weight to turn the water.
Right. And he finally gets it all the way, and he turns around, and he says, "Look, you guys have to go on. I did everything I could for you." And you can tell he's exhausted mentally. He's exhausted physically. And basically he lets go, and he falls right into the water in the middle of the fire and dies. So now
how about the fact that he gets so mad at God right there when the steam comes up, and Frank Scott, he just yells once again at God, like, what else can you throw in front of us? What else are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? He's like so upset that he's just yelling at God about all the obstacles thrown in their way.
Yeah. He's like, haven't we been through enough already?
Exactly.
And so he falls. So now the little girl's panicked, and he told Rogo, he said, look, you get these people to safety. He said, it's on you now. So here we go. So now you're down to Rogo, the two kids, Red Buttons, and Nani, and Jack Albertson's character. Yeah. So there's 6. And they get inside this propeller shaft, and they start banging on the walls, right? And he said, well, we're going to die or whatever. He said, no, this is the thinnest part. He's like, keep banging, and you hear echoes and echoes. And finally at the top, they hear some commotion. They all start yelling, and
yeah, they're banging and banging and banging on the roof, trying to make as much noise as they can.
And now they've been rescued.
Well, once they open up, they like use a torch, and they open up that little hatch for them all to get out. The second part that made me cry in this movie was Ernest Borgnine, his character, Rogo. He like glances back at the room they just left because he just lost his wife. And you could see it in his face. You could see it in his eyes that his wife got so close to being rescued.
Yep.
And just the look on everyone's face when the rescue people open up that hatch or they cut open a hole, and just to see everybody's face, the relief on everybody's face, the emotional release from all those characters, and the fact that he kind of looks back at the last room and like, man, my wife was right there. She was so close.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Gene Hackman's character got so close. He gave his life right there at the end for us.
Yeah.
And so that emotionally, that just wiped me out by that time.
Yeah, and then you see, is it a helicopter coming in or a boat or something?
Helicopter comes in and picks them up. That's how the movie ends. It's like,
yeah, just left you right there.
Survivors, and they're like, no.
Yeah. So of all those people, only like 6 survived.
Yeah, you got to figure there was hundreds and hundreds of people on that boat.
Oh yeah,
especially because he even asked about. I think they even asked about the people. Did you pick up anybody near the bow of the ship? And they were like, no.
No, they were going the other way.
That's where the other group was heading.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That other group of like 20-something people were heading towards the bow of the ship. And they're like, did you pick anybody up? No, we didn't.
No. So basically Gene Hackman's character was right all along.
Yeah, he was right.
So we'll talk a little bit about some trivia here. So this was actually shot in sequence. So they could take advantage of the fact that, they became dirtier and more tattered, and the injuries were, some were artificial, some were real as they progressed through the movie. I thought that was pretty cool because usually, you don't see them filming all consecutively like that anymore. Even though Shelley Winters is considered an old lady, retired in this, she was only 51 years old when she did this role. And Ernest Borgnine, he was actually 3 years older than Shelley Winters, despite the fact that he treats her like an old lady. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, she was, like you said, she put on weight for this movie too. So she wasn't old and she wasn't overweight, but yet she plays the role as an overweight older lady.
Right. So Stella Stevens said in a 2006 interview that when she first read the script, she could tell by the writing that whichever actress played the fat lady, which was Shelley Winters, that they would end up getting an Oscar nomination. And she was right. So, according to Ernest Borgnine and director Roger Neame, Shelley Winters loved playing Gin Rummy to keep her occupied during breaks in filming. Jack Albertson, who played her husband, would play Gin Rummy with her. According to Borgnine, Albertson ended up winning $260,000 from Winters.
Oh my God.
Both Borgnine and Neame said Albertson never got paid.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, she died in the movie. So she died.
How can I pay you? I'm dead.
Right. Red Buttons and Carol Lindley, whose characters fell in love in the movie, they actually disliked each other intensely during filming.
Oh.
So much
I was
so.
kind of rooting for him all the time. Like in the movie, weren't you rooting for him?
Of course. He just seems like a nice guy.
Type character, and you're like, oh, come on, man, you can do it.
So they refused to have anything to do with each other except when the cameras were rolling. Ironically, after being constantly reminded of this, they ended up becoming great friends in later years. Both Lindley and Pamela Sue Martin were with Buttons at the time of his final public appearance, the world premiere of Poseidon in 2006 at Mann's Chinese Theater in May. So, did you think, Bond, when you first saw this, that this was based on a true story?
You know what? I kind of did.
So did I.
Thought for sure. I was like, this has to be real.
So Paul Gallico, who was inspired to write his novel by a voyage he made on the Queen Mary, when he was having breakfast in the dining room, the liner was hit by a large wave, sending people and furniture crashing to the other side of the vessel. He was further inspired by a true incident which occurred aboard the Queen Mary during World War II. Packed with American troops bound for Europe, the ship was struck by a gargantuan freak wave in the North Atlantic. It was calculated that if the ship had rolled another 5 inches, she would have capsized like the Poseidon.
Ooh, man.
That's crazy. Just 5 inches.
That's amazing.
While he and the others are lifting the giant Christmas tree, Rogo mutters, "Holy F word, it's heavy." This was a genuine reaction from Ernest Borgnine, and the line was kept. So the famous interior capsizing sequence was done in 2 parts. The first part had the hydraulically controlled celt tilted to its maximum 45 degrees. The cameras were then stopped and the set was redressed so that the floor deck became the ceiling and vice versa. The actors were then returned to the set, which was then tilted further to complete the sequence. So they could only tilt it at 45 degrees at a time.
Now, one of the things that I noticed about that was I was kind of wondering why all the tables were bolted to the floor.
Yeah. I don't know if
when the boat capsizes, all the tables are on the ceiling still.
But do they do that on ships nowadays anyway? So when you're in the waves and stuff, so it doesn't shift?
During the voyage?
That's what I assumed.
I don't know. But I just thought that was weird because it's like the boat capsizes and of course, all the chairs fall. Everything falls to the ground, but the tables are still attached to the ceiling.
Yeah. Shelley Winters gained, as I said, 35 pounds for the part of Belle Rosen. Afterwards, she complained that she was never to get back to her original weight, no matter how hard she tried. So, as the actors performed more and more stunts, director Ronald Nemi said that soon they started to get competitive and trying to be outdone by each other. Actor Ernest Borgnine admitted that there was a sense of excitement leading up to the start of filming of the stunts, but occasionally there were moments during and after whether he questioned whether he should actually be doing them. Still, Borgnine and others have stated many times that everything was carefully done and no one got hurt, or at least seriously hurt.
Good.
Once this film's theatrical run was over, ABC paid $3.3 million for the television rights for one showing only. At that time, it was awesome. The most money a network had ever paid for a film's broadcast rights. The film was presented pan-scan in the standard 4:3 television ratio, which was the norm. Decades later, it was restored to its original widescreen ratio. So it's very interesting. Shelley Winters, as I said, trained with an Olympic swim coach so that her character, who is a former award-winning swimmer, would come across more realistically in the underwater scenes. The set for the banquet hall was designed so that very few objects needed to be moved from the floor to the ceiling and vice versa. The columns along the walls were identical at the top and bottom, and the wall decorations were all removable. So, except for the most dangerous sequences, all of the stunts were done by the actors themselves. All the actors at one point complained to the production staff about how difficult the shoot was physically. Mid-ocean rogue waves were previously thought to occur only once every 10,000 years. A 2004 study of satellite radio images showed they can happen as often as hundreds of times every decade. Let's see here. So Stella Stevens said in an interview after she was cast as Linda Rogo, Alan asked if she'd read the Poseidon Adventure novel and the film was based on. When Stevens told him no, Alan urged her not to read it, saying everyone hated the Linda character in the book and he wanted her film version of the character to be likable. Have you ever read it, Bond?
No, but I kind of want to now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'd like to see the differences. I think it'd be interesting. Most of the exterior shots of the Poseidon were shot using a large miniature built from the original blueprints of the Queen Mary. The model is on display at the Los Angeles Maritime Museum at the Los Angeles Harbor. The real Queen Mary is located just a few miles away in Long Beach. You ever been there, Bond? You ever been to the Queen Mary?
No, I'd love to go to the Queen Mary, man, just because I also heard the Queen Mary is haunted. So you can like spend the night on that thing and
Right.
it's supposed to be pretty cool.
While waiting for Reverend Scott, Mr. Rogo jokes that the others should break out their hymnals and sing Nearer My God to Thee, which, if you know anything about that, that is the song that was sung by the crew and passengers of the SS Valencia as it sank. It was literally the final song the band of the RMS Titanic played as it went down.
Oh, that is so cool.
Stella Stevens said in a 1994 interview that she hated working with Shelley Winters in the film The Mad Room in 1969, so much that she swore she'd never work with her again. Winters had been under a lot of stress because Robert F. Kennedy was shot during the filming of it, and she had a very bad reaction to it. She began soothing her nerves with white wine and was drunk most of the time. A year later, Stevens was cast in this role and soon found out Winters had been cast too. She told them she wasn't going to do the film. They told her she wouldn't have to be in any scenes with her one-on-one, so she agreed to do it and was glad she did. Winters wasn't drinking anymore, and they got along just fine. So,
wow.
Yeah. It is said that 125 stunt people were used during the filming. No one was killed or injured. IMDb only has listed 53 of them, so all but one uncredited. I think you should put the people's names on there if they're putting their lives on the line, right?
I know. I'm really surprised that the actors did a lot of their own stunts. There's a lot of stunts in this thing that, that the whole, like when they're in the tube, all the jumping they're doing, all the, the water tricks.
I'm surprised Shelley Winters did her stunts.
Yeah, that's just amazing.
So Stella Stevens, who played Linda Rogo, said once that she had always wished she had kept the panties she had worn on the film as she could sell them on eBay and make a fortune. Ernest Borgnine once said in an interview that this was the most physically demanding movie he had ever made. I bet it was. The miniature build of the ocean liner was actually 25 feet long. That's a seriously detailed miniature.
That's
25 feet long. It's huge. Carl Lindley, who played terrified non-swimmer Nani Perry, is actually an avid swimmer in real life. Ben Stiller is a huge fan of this film. In a 2020 interview with Vanity Fair, he recalled working with Gene Hackman on Royal Tenenbaums and trying to work up the courage to tell him how the movie changed his life and made him want to become a filmmaker. When he finally raised the subject 2 days before the end of the shoot, Hackman replied, "Oh yeah, money job."
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, man. Co-director and co-producer Irwin Allen's wife, Sheila Allen, played the nurse. Filming was delayed twice due to cost, in addition to oceans of red ink incurred by its television division, ironically from high-budget shows produced by Irwin Allen. 20th Century Fox was also suffering from losses from several big-budget musicals undertaken in the wake of the studio's enormous success with Sound of Music, Dr. Dolittle, Star, and Hello, Dolly. As spectacles were being trounced by smaller character-driven films, and the studio was nervous about a disaster movie's prospects, especially one produced by Allen. Fox finally relented when Allen promised to raise half of the budget himself. Reportedly, Allen found outside backers by crossing Pico Boulevard from Fox's main gate to the nearby Hillcrest Country Club, where he found some friends playing cards. During the card game, Allen cajoled them into backing his film. Because the studio never spent any of the backers' money, the backers made a tidy profit from the success of the film without actually spending a dime. Wow. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Man, that's a lot of money to put up, too.
Yes, it is. After the cable telegram is delivered to the Shelby stateroom, Robin jumps off the bed, inadvertently capsizing his plastic model of the SS Poseidon.
Oh, no.
So that's a little bit of a foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing there.
Yeah. Roddy McDowall was supposed to be playing the role of a Scotsman, but had severe problems keeping up the accent. If you listen carefully, his accent changes from Scottish to Irish to his usual transatlantic English-American tone. Stunt coordinator Paul Stater plays the corpse in the white jumpsuit that Reverend Scott pushes out of the way when making the initial swim through the flooded passage to the engine room. That was a pretty cool scene, too. Mm-hmm. In 2006 DVD commentary, Pamela Sue Martin stated she kept her red sandals after filming completed. And with the passing of Gene Hackman in 2025, Pamela Sue Martin and Eric Shea are the last two members of the main cast that are still living.
Oh, man.
That's sad, man. Lost some good ones. So there were actually 5 Academy Award winners in this: Gene Hackman, Ernest Borgnine, Shelley Winters, Jack Albertson, and Red Buttons. And 1 Oscar nominee, Arthur O'Connell. The 5 in the former category would have won their Oscars by the time of this movie, while Hackman winning a further one after this movie. According to the Guinness, they said this was the highest gross money maker in 1973 in U.S. and in Canada. Let's see here. This would have changed the movie, but the role of James Martin was originally going to go to who, Bond?
Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Man, I would have loved to see it.
Okay, not only that, but that means Jack Albertson, who plays Manny, would have been in this movie with Gene Wilder before Willy Wonka. Chocolate Factory. Right?
Yep. So scheduling forced him to turn the role down, but man, I think that would have been great.
That's so cool. He would have done well on that one.
Oh, I would have loved to see it. The boots and pendant that Carol Lindley wears in this film actually came from her own private collection. So Gene Hackman's religious philosophy is a hybrid of Christianity, Buddhism, and New Age spiritualism, which is why his character is considered a rebel among his fellow Christian preachers. Red Buttons died in July of 2006, only 2 months after this film's remake. Poseidon in 2006 was opened up in the movie theaters. He actually got to attend the premiere and comment on it, so that's pretty cool. Nani has no audible spoken dialogue for the first 32 minutes of this film. Everything prior to that is her character singing to various songs. Her first audible spoken line is when she calls her brother's character named Teddy. So Ernest Borgnine and Shelley Winters would later play husband and wife on a 1982 season 6 premiere episode of The Love Boat.
Oh, that's cool.
In 1977.
They got on a boat again together?
Yeah. How can they do that? They didn't survive, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wonder if you go back and watch that episode of Love Boat, if they like have a little Easter egg there for you, like mentioning the Poseidon Adventure, mentioning a former cruise that didn't go too well or something.
Right. The Bond, this says the Poseidon Adventure earned a worldwide gross of over 125 million in adjusted dollars. That's over 943 million now. So it's getting close to $1 billion.
Yeah, that would be almost $1 billion movie, today's movie money.
That's ridiculous. So that's about it. I'm not going to go into any other more there, Bond. So Bond, why don't you give me your thoughts, feelings, ratings, prop, everything you want from this movie?
All right. So I'm going to jump right to my prop because I want to take it before you do.
Oh,
I want the charm. I want the grandson's charm.
Oh, man, that's a good one.
The one that, because I know it's out there somewhere. There's a little charm. It was meant for the grandson. So I think that's what I want. It's something simple and easy, and people would see it on the bookshelf and say, "What's that from?"
Mm-hmm.
And I could say the Poseidon Adventure.
Ah, yes.
I love this movie. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to give this movie a 10.
Woo! You're saying it's a perfect movie.
Hey, few and far between are perfect movies. I think this one might be a perfect movie.
That's some strong language there, Bond.
I've been thinking about this since I went back and rewatched it. I've been thinking about it all week, and I'm going, you know what? I can't think of a reason this movie doesn't deserve a 10. It's got funny scenes. It's suspenseful. There's romance. The relationship between Shelley Winters' character and Jack Albertson, the older couple. Oh my gosh. Gene Hackman struggling with his religion, with his faith. Ernest Borgnine and him going at it through the whole movie. Just, two alpha dogs through the whole thing. It's a perfect movie. It's a perfect movie. Yeah, you can nitpick maybe the ending and go, oh yeah, right. You can not, you can bang on metal and they could cut through that thing so fast and get you out. But, I don't know. I think it still could happen. I think it's a perfect movie, man. I think it's a 10.
Bond's giving her the old perfect score. All right.
All right, I flip it to you, man. What do you think?
You flip it to me. I like that. I turn this ship right side up. Is that what you're saying?
I'm turning this ship right side down.
All right. Here we go. Here's my prop piece. I'm taking the Christmas tree. I can store that bad boy out. I can store that boy outside, okay? In case there's a flood, I can lean it up against my house and climb to the top.
That would be awesome if you leaned that big Christmas tree up against your house.
So to me, I think what makes this movie so special is the dynamics and the characters themselves. You have so many famous people in this movie, and the chemistry that they all had just works together. Like you said, Shelley Winters and Jack together, that might be one of the best couples ever in film history. They were just so touching and moving. Gene Hackman does a fantastic job in this. You know, I forgot Gene Hackman was even in this movie when I went back to watch it, because it's been a long time since I watched it. And I said earlier, I think my favorite character was Rogo, because he's a typical man's man. You know what I mean? Like, you're not telling me what I'm not taking orders from you, because wasn't he a police chief or a police officer or something?
He was a lieutenant.
Right. So he's probably used to giving orders, not taking orders. And I thought that was very, very cool too, that I picked up on. For my rating, Bond, I'm going to give this a 10 as well.
Ooh,
I just think that it's hard to find a movie that checks all the boxes anymore, from the acting to the set to the cinematography. It's just to the dialogue. There's like no wasted scenes in this movie. There's none, because every scene in this movie points towards something in the movie. You have the conflict between the two preachers. You learn a little bit about the backstory there. You got the conflicts between the people that are going up to the people that are staying on the bottom. You got people that are going to the hull to the people that are going up to the propeller. You have the dynamic
tension between Ernest Borgnine
and Gene Hackman,
because his wife's a prostitute.
Yeah,
prostitute,
and he's like,
he's like, and nobody sees you like that anymore.
And he's like, well, how many people on this boat do you know? You know, and she's like, well, there's one guy that looked familiar, and then you have the tension between Gene Hackman and Ernest Borgnine, and two legendary actors right there, and they're at their best in this movie. They really are. If you have not seen the Poseidon Adventure, especially this one, not the remake, I'm talking about this 1972.
Watch this one.
This 1972 classic movie is well worth a watch, and it gets a Jimbo and Bond 2 thumbs up. Definitely one of the greats.
I don't know if that's ever been done before. A perfect 10.
I think me and Kyle may have had one, maybe two out of all the movies that we did. I think maybe Ben-Hur might have been one of them.
Yeah.
Because that's a really great movie. And maybe I really liked Gone with the Wind. I think that is one of the best movies of all time too. I can watch that anytime.
This
long
perfect 10s from both of us, man. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So, and I really think that this is the movie that started the whole disaster craze. And I think a lot of the ones that came after this can point back to this and say, this is where it came from. And I like that.
And like you said before, this is just every disaster movie for the next 2 or 3 years just makes money. Makes money.
Yep. And I think something else that works with this movie is you don't know who's going to live or die. You're rooting for certain people to make it. Like I was rooting for Shelley Winters to make it because I wanted her to see her grandson, and she doesn't make it.
Yeah.
And that just tears your heart out.
Well, I think we'll kill her because you're like, there's no way they're going to kill
the
older fat lady. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's going to make it. She'll be okay.
And if I was Red Buttons,
she's the heart of the group.
If I was Red Buttons, I'm throwing Nani down the shaft. Okay. I'm not dragging her along, dude. You could sit here and pout and cry and you can drown. Okay. But I really like his character too. And I was really hoping Roddy McDowall would have made it a little bit further along because I really like him. I think he's a great actor.
He went way too quickly.
Yeah, so there you have the Poseidon Adventure from Jimbo and Bond. If you'd like to reach out to us, we are the tragedy of cinema at gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. Me and Bond post stuff in there. You can find us on TikTok. I've been putting a lot of TikTok stuff out lately, gaining traction there. So I think this episode's coming to a close. Bond, you got any final thoughts or anything?
No, man, I think everyone should come out and watch this movie and let us know what they think.
All right. Well, this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.
The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most.
All right, guys. If you've listened this far, maybe you shouldn't have turned it off because Jimbo has a surprise. What I'm going to do is, if you've made it this far, I want you to tell me, either the first person that emails me and tells me the song that Nani is singing at the New Year's Eve party, the first song she is singing, I will send you a free t-shirt. So you never know what you got to do when you're going to listen, when we're going to throw something in there. So if you made it this far, congratulations. Be the first one to send me the name of the song that Nani sings, and you will get a t-shirt. I will message you and get a t-shirt. And if there's more than one, the other people will get some stickers. So probably 3 people after that will get stickers. So we'll see if anybody listens past this, Bond, see if they found this Easter egg. What do you think, Bond?
Yeah, this thing won an Academy Award for the best original song. So
So we're going to see if people know. All right, guys.